story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good morning, CoreTV News on the hour. I'm Tolu Ojewumi. We start with the political goings-on in Osun State. The Osun State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has accused the People's Democratic Party, PDP governorship candidate Iyola Mishore, of employing services of a most suspected terrorist in his campaign trail with the intention of intimidating the electorate. The APC says Mishore was spotted during his campaign trail, closely guarded by the armed suspected terrorist. The party noted that while President Goodluck Jonathan was fighting terrorists in the north with Nigerian soldiers, his party man was hiding behind security cover to intimidate the electorate. The APC, in a statement, called for a full-scale investigation by the security agencies into Mishore's use of masked armed guards. The party also says it heard on good authority that the PDP had brought in bales of fake police uniforms with substantial arms into the state with the intention of replicating the scenario of Ekiti State. The APC added that Nigeria and the democratic process are in terrible times as the August 9 election approaches. According to the APC, the theme of Omishore's campaign so far has been that arrangement has already been made to remove Aregbesola from office, no matter what he is doing. From Osun State, we visit Ekiti. The last minute having heard of the twists and turns after the recently concluded Ekiti governorship election. A Lagos-based lawyer, Boswani Fowora, in an interview with CoreTV News, describes turnaround in the reaction of the APC to the outcome of the election after Governor Kayode Fayemi considered defeat as baseless, especially as it concerns the tribunal.
Sincerely, I have a lot of regard for the APC. But what they're trying to bring up to the election petition tribunal, well, I don't want to say much, but I think they can look for something better than some of these things. For the mental right of supporters were breached. The court is there. It's not the tribunal that is going to look into your right being breached. You're a citizen of Nigeria. You have a right to go to court once your right has been infringed upon. So those kind of things don't bother on election. I said, well, fine, maybe it was prelude to the election, but I don't think that will be a ground for going to the tribunal.
He reminded the nation's leading opposition party and others against the federal government over the heavily militarized atmosphere of the state before and during the election, that the development could be justified by antecedents and current insecurity.
If the incumbent had won, I don't think we will be saying all this. So it's natural for politicians to cry wolf where there's none. All right, so I don't see any form of intimidation. All they've said is that some of our people were not allowed in, their own people were on ground. Did that affect the result? How can you prove it? Until they come up with claims that, okay, fine, the military presence did not allow our people to come out. If maybe we had in a local government, you had PDP 10,000, APC 0, then you know that something happened, but when you have 10,000, then 9,500 of your people came out, and you say military presence, were they coming out to fight the military or what? I mean, no, we could come up with better things.
Hook up with Nifemi Ogutoye on our next edition of The Judiciary for details of the interview. Now, the issue of state creation is coming to the fore again. Delegates at the National Conference have made a recommendation for an additional 18 states to be created. If that is done, Nigeria now ends up having 54 states. But not many people in Abuja are comfortable with the position of the National Conference, as Paul Samuel reports.
The clamor for the creation of more states is not new in Nigeria, but the National Assembly had over the years been reluctant to push it through. And now that the National Conference has recommended it, the move is generating mixed reactions in the polity. Some Nigerians say security should be taken care of first before state creation, while others are of the opinion that it will bring democracy and development closer to the people.
It is a welcome development to this country. When I read it this morning, my thoughts go to the splitting of this country, because if definitely we are going to have 18 countries, the back end of it shows that maybe the country may be divided. That's my opinion. So I think, to me, I'm not in support of 18. There should be additional, not up to 18. If they can zone it based on the geopolitical zone, maybe 2 to 1 in each state, is a welcome development. But up to 18, my thought towards it is after that, it may lead to a division of this country.
I don't think creating of state, of additional states, is important as having peace in this country. What I want is peace, and let the people, our administrators, the people in government, let them do the right thing. If you give me what is due to me, I may not need to agitate for any extra states.
My own fear is some states might not have the revenue generation, and they will fall back again to the federal government revenue. That is only my fear. I'm in support of giving Southeast more one state so that the whole geopolitical zones will be equal.
This woman is quite emphatic in her opposition to additional states. She doesn't think that's what Nigeria needs now.
We read where a governor's wife is now giving farmers, market women, designer perfume. When they are hungry, there are issues we should look at before we start agitating, because you agitate for more states, you agitate for more local government, you agitate for more wards, and those on ground are yet to be developed.
But in spite of the different shades of opinion, the consensus among Nigerians is that whatever will ensure peace and development in the country is desirable. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Now, health, they say, is wealth. Poor funding of health and the inability of the federal government to harmonize various divisions in the sector have been pointed out as a basis for the strike embarked upon by the Nigeria Medical Association, NMA. Chief Medical Director of the Federal Medical Center, Ido-Ekiti, Nekede State, Lawrence Ayodele, says resident doctors are not happy with the way they are being treated by the federal government. This, he added, informed their refusal of entreaties even by journalists on the development.
But believe me, there are some things that are fundamentally wrong. If you have the privilege of, knowing what is going on in other parts of the world, so why can't you borrow some of their policies, so that, there can be sanity, in the health sector. Now we're talking about NMA today. Tomorrow is going to be Joesu, and next tomorrow is going to be another one. So when are we going to get out of this? I think government will have to, go back to the drawing board and see what can be done, to harmonize, the health sector and even some other non-health sectors.
While expressing sadness over the strike, Ayodele called on the federal government to design a harmonization process which will bring all direct actors in the health sector together in the formulation of grand policies that will resolve their problems.
Yeah, introduction now. First of all, thank you very much. Doctors are not happy with some of the things that are going on in the country. You mentioned that they are resident doctors. They are training, and they are not permanent staff. They have probably 6 years maximum to spend in the system here, except if they are going to be lucky, to be absorbed as permanent doctors. Having that at the back of their mind, that they are temporary staff, they want all their benefits, given to them. And that's where things are going wrong. They are resident doctors. They want funding of all the programs that they are doing.
From health to legal matters, the rise in violence against women in Ekiti State, particularly rape and domestic abuse, has called for concerns. Against this backdrop, a sensitization program for women to speak up against violence and approach constituted authorities was put together by a group of women lawyers in the state. Our Ekiti State correspondent Rashid has more in this report.
According to the statistics of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, Ekiti State Chapter, the index of rape and violence against women in 2013 is higher than armed robbery and murder put together. Even after the election of June 21, the ugly trend has continued to rear its head, hence the sensitization for women to know their rights under the law.
Ever since the elections, we've had women come to us to say that some men have started, they have resumed beating their women again and saying that Governor Fayemi is going, that now they can do whatever they like. I want to use this opportunity to speak to our men in Ekiti State that governance is a continuum. I want to especially appeal to them that if there's anything that Governor Fayemi has done, is to make sure that everything he did was done within the legal framework.
As a woman who has seen it all, the former president of National Council for Women's Societies, Nike Obatayo, admonished women to approach the court in the face of any violence. She added that the court is meant to settle matter and not to aggravate it.
The last resort is the court. Because
the guest speaker, Sheyi Ojo, condemned the alarming rate of rape and violence against women and charged them to take their destinies in their hands.
The number of rape cases we had in Ekiti State surpassed that of armed robbery and murder put together. And this is a very alarming number. Women are being offended against day in, day out in our society. And it is high time we should all come out to speak against this. It is high time we should fight it. We should say no. Women should not be predated upon.
Meanwhile, the Female Lawyers Association has commenced a free legal service for indigent women seeking justice against abuse. The pro bono, which is to run for the next 9 months, will help those in need mitigate the cost of legal process. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
In an attack on the outskirts of Kabul, Taliban militants have set fire to dozens of fuel trucks. More from Afghanistan in a moment.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Now moving on, Taliban militants have set fire to dozens of fuel trucks which they claimed were supplying foreign troops in Afghanistan in an attack on the outskirts of Kabul. The fire, triggered by a bomb, set ablaze tankers waiting to enter the city in a parking lot west of the Afghan capital overnight. However, no casualties were reported as firefighters tried to control the fire. Here are the details of the attack.
Gal Agan Kashimi is the crime investigation director of Kabul Police. He says it was a magnetic bomb that caused the fuel tankers which added belonged to private companies to catch fire. It was not clear whether the trucks were supplying fuel to a NATO-led international security assistance forces, whose spokesman says they are looking into the incident to determine if any of the fuel destroyed in Kok-E Agandi was intended for use by the ISAF forces. The Taliban militants, who have been regularly attacking Western supply convoys in Afghanistan, claim the responsibility. They have stepped up the attacks recently as the NATO forces complete the withdrawal by the end of this year. The insurgents had recently fired rockets into Kabul airports, destroying the Afghan president's parked helicopters and damaging 3 other choppers. The Afghan capital has been relatively peaceful since the presidential election on the 14th of June, though there have been street demonstrations as politicians are locked in a dispute over the vote fraud. All NATO combat troops will leave Afghanistan by December, with about 10,000 U.S. troops staying into next year if the new president signs a security deal with Washington.
We'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I'm Tolu Ojewumi. Good morning. See you again soon.